Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California. Today I'm going to show you another way to compost in place. No turning, no nothing. You're just going to dump and forget it, and your plants are going to be feeding off all your kitchen scraps or whatever you put in there. This type of unit is a 2-system unit. Don't worry, it's easy peasy. You're not going to have any work. What you do is you take 2 pots. It can be any pot. It can be flower pots, floral pots. I have floral pots. I use floral pots. Your first pot is going to have holes on the bottom. See, I've got a hole down here, 2 holes on the bottom. Your second pot that's going to go on the top must have holes as well, but it doesn't matter where you put the holes. I put them a little upwards because this pot's going to have a plant, and with summer and it's so hot today, I want to make sure there's a little bit of water retained in here for it. But you can put them on the bottom if you get a lot of water. So it doesn't matter, wherever you want to put it. I chose to put it here. So I've got good drainage. You always have to have good drainage. Remember, even these totes, and I'll put the link on how I set up this tote. These totes are magnificent. I grow tons and tons of food in it. But you have to have drainage in everything. And that includes your compost system. This system is magnificent. It's one of my favorite systems. What you do is you take the first one, which is your bottom one with the holes on the bottom, and this tote has all been set up like my video shows, all ready to go, and I'm going to plant something in it. Not sure yet what, but I will be planting something in it. So you're going to take an area in here and you're going to move over the soil. Doesn't have to be that deep, but you know what? You put it down as far as you want. You want to put it 2-3 inches, that's fine. You want to put it halfway down, whatever you want to do. So now you push it in and just get it where it's going to sit really good in there. And let me tell you something, as the plants grow, it's really going to sit really tight in there. Now you're going to put the soil back around it, and you're going to basically kind of anchor it in with the soil. Like I said, as it sits there within a few days, it's really going to be fairly tight. But if you wanted to, you could always add in a rock or some weight on the bottom. That's up to you. Now, the second pot, this one, is your really good pot. This one, you're going to plant something in it. Plant something that doesn't have a massive root system, because I'm going to probably put a squash or tomato in here. But in here, you'll see why. You want to have it like parsley or sage. You could do carrots and radishes, turnips, anything you want that doesn't have a really big root system, because you want this plant to benefit from what it's going to get out of here. Now, with this is so great. What you're going to do in here is you're going to compost. So you've got this pot now sitting in here, and you're going to take compost. This is kitchen scraps, eggshells. Oh, there's an avocado in there. Even an avocado in there. Whatever you've got, what you're going to start doing as you're growing your plants, you're going to put some compost in there. And you don't have to put a lot. You can share it among your other plants that you've got growing. So now you've got compost in there, and if you wanted to, it's up to you. You could put a little handful of soil in there. You're done. This pot goes back. That's it. Now, you don't touch that compost. You don't get any mice or rats or squirrels or anything trying to even get in there. Your dog won't even know it's there. This has been great. I've got them all over, and that's it. But this isn't really what it's going to look like. What it's going to look like is this. And there's weight, and there it is. Now, when you go and you water this plant, it's going to keep your kitchen scraps, like when you're burying it in a hole in your containers, it's going to keep your kitchen scraps damp. Your microbes and your earthworms are going to come to it, and nothing can get to it. And that's all you have to do is remember to water your plant. This pot is going to water this pot too. Now, I always do water my plants, all of them. If I've got a squash, I'm going to water everything in here. It doesn't really matter. But this is the main thing. And you're going to watch. You'll see roots starting to go in there, because if you've got a squash, they're going to just love this. And you're going to have massive squash or massive tomatoes growing. They're going to be sending their roots, and you'll see they'll come up. If it gets full later, let's say you put too much in and the plants start pulling from it, it's going to turn into compost, great soil. So at that point, you're just going to take it out And you could just pull this out. Once it's all broke down, it's gonna look like this, and dump it into another container, dump it somewhere to use, to plant more plants in, whatever you wanna do. But it could take 6 months, it could take longer. It depends on how much you put in. This system has been magnificent. You can use any size pot. Here's a smaller pot. If you've got smaller containers, or you choose to use a smaller container, use something like this. You put this, it's already got holes, inside your tote or container, or in the ground next to your favorite plants that eat a lot, and you don't have to buy any plant food. You plant something in here, and then you slip it in. And that's it. It's the same concept. It's the same thing like I compost in place, I dump, I cover, and I grow in it. But with this way, you still have a lot of kitchen scraps, and sometimes you don't know what to do with them. And let's say late spring is here and summer's here and all your plants are growing. Well, now you still can be composting all your food, your leftover food. You could throw a little paper in there if you want, whatever you want. But anything, remember, that you'd be putting in a regular compost bin, you're going to put in here. And the only difference is you're going to have a plant on top. So it's basically throw your kitchen scraps in there or leaves from the garden, pack it in there, put your pot on top. This will slowly go down as it breaks down, and just forget about it. It's kind of like dump it and forget about it. This has worked fantastic. Any size. I've even used food containers in really small containers, like cottage cheese and yogurt containers, just like this, but they're smaller. I have done it that way, where I have holes on the bottom of one cottage cheese container, and I've got a plant growing on the other one. Do this, and I can always go in there and throw some banana peels, potato skins, anything you want in there, and the plants go wild and continue to grow and continue to produce for you. Let's go over, and I'm going to show you some of them that are already set up, so you'll see what's going on. See, so many of these have that system, that double system, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that the plants you're planting in the top, because you're going to be lifting it out here and there, are not going to be too big. You want to be able to handle it and be able to lift the pot up and down. Remember, squash gets too big, it would be too hard to lift that up. So keep it with a simple root system and something that is on the smaller side, or at least something you can keep trimmed small. So that's it. It's that easy. You make your own compost containers, use any container you want, and you have got a compost in place. No critters can get into it. Nobody's even going to know it's there except your microbes and your earthworms, and you won't get any flies in there either. No maggots or anything in there. This is going to be fantastic. I'm sure you're going to love it. I absolutely love it. I use it on my deck. I use it on all over my garden. And like I said, I've talked about it on a lot of my garden tours, but I've never actually done the full videos just to show you how easy it is to do. Try it, see if you like it. I think it's worth a try, and it's fantastic. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. I think I'll put a little more. Ooh, papaya. I don't remember Gary telling me he brought in a papaya.